Welcome to our podcast overview of what you'll be learning in this chapter. Think of this as your roadmap to understanding the fundamentals of accounting and financial information. We're going to cover some key areas that are essential for anyone looking to understand how businesses operate financially. Here is what you can expect to dive into. First, understanding business organizations and accounting information. You'll start by identifying the various forms of business organization. These include sole proprietorships, owned and controlled by one person, simple to establish with tax advantages. Examples are small owner-operated businesses like barbershops or law offices. Partnerships involve two or more owners, are also simple to establish, and feature shared control, broader skills, resources, and tax advantages. Corporations are separate legal entities, offer easier ownership transfer, often through shares of stock, make it simpler to raise funds, and provide no personal liability to owners. However, their income taxes are higher than proprietorships and partnerships. Most U.S. business revenue is done by corporations, even if their total number is exceeded by proprietorships and partnerships. You'll also learn about hybrid forms of organization, such as limited liability companies, or LLCs, and subchapter S corporations, which combine the tax advantages of partnerships with the limited liability of corporations. You'll then explore the purpose of financial information, which is to provide inputs for decision making. You'll learn that accounting is the information system that identifies, records, and communicates an organization's economic events to interested users. The chapter will introduce you to the users of accounting information, dividing them into internal users, such as managers who plan, organize, and run a business, and external users. External users include investors, creditors, taxing authorities, customers, labor unions, and regulatory agencies. Finally, you'll get an introduction to data analytics, which involves analyzing data to draw inferences and answer questions like what happened and why, or what is likely to happen. You'll also learn about ethics in financial reporting, spurred by financial scandals and the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, or SOX, which aims to reduce unethical corporate behavior and increase transparency. Next, we'll be explaining the three principal types of business activity. This section will teach you about the core activities that every business undertakes. These are financing activities. These involve raising money through outside sources. This can be through debt financing, which is borrowing money, creating liabilities like notes payable or bonds payable to creditors who have a legal right to be paid. Or it can be equity financing, which is issuing shares of common stock to stockholders who are owners and receive dividends but have no claim to corporate cash until creditors are paid. Investing activities. This is about purchasing the resources a company needs to operate. These resources are called assets, which can include property, plant and equipment, cash, and investments in securities. Operating activities are the day-to-day actions involved in producing and selling a product or providing a service, occurring after a business obtains financing and invests in assets. These activities result in revenue, which are amounts from sales or services, and expenses, which are costs consumed or services used to generate revenue. Operating activities also involve assets like supplies, inventory, and accounts receivable, and liabilities such as accounts payable, interest payable, and wages payable. Comparing revenues with expenses results in net income if revenues exceed expenses, or net loss if expenses exceed revenues. We'll then move on to describing the four financial statements and their preparation. You'll learn about the four primary financial statements that provide crucial insights into a company's financial health. The income statement. This statement shows the success of the business, its profitability during a specific period of time by listing revenues and expenses. Net income results when revenues exceed expenses, and a net loss occurs when expenses exceed revenues. The retained earnings statement. This statement details the amounts and causes of changes in retained earnings for a specific period. It shows how much income was distributed to owners, dividends decreased retained earnings, and how much was retained for future expansion. The balance sheet. This statement provides a picture at a specific point in time of what a business owns, which are assets, and what it owes, which are liabilities, and the claims of owners, which is stockholders' equity. It is based on the basic accounting equation. Assets equal liabilities plus stockholders' equity, and lists assets in order of liquidity. The statement of cash flows. This report provides information about the cash receipts and payments for a specific period, showing where cash came from, how it was used, and the net change in the cash balance. You'll also understand the interrelationships of these statements, noting how amounts flow from one statement to another. For example, net income from the income statement goes to the retained earnings statement, and the ending cash balance on the statement of cash flows matches the cash on the balance sheet. Finally, you'll be introduced to the elements of an annual report for publicly traded companies, including the financial statements themselves, the management discussion and analysis, or MD&A, which is management's view on liquidity, operations, and trends, notes to the financial statements, which clarify details and accounting policies, and the independent auditor's report, an opinion on the fairness of the financial statements by a certified public accountant, or CPA. We'll end this chapter exploring career opportunities in accounting. The chapter will highlight why accounting is a popular career choice, noting the demand for jobs and the impact of evolving technologies like data analytics. You'll learn about diverse career paths within accounting, including public accounting, often involving roles as certified public accountants or CPAs in auditing, taxation, and management consulting. Private accounting, working for-profit or nonprofit organizations as financial accountants, managerial accountants, or internal auditors. Governmental and forensic accounting, with opportunities in various government agencies like the IRS or FBI, and specialized roles investigating theft and fraud. This overview should give you a solid foundation for what's to come in the chapter. Get ready to explore these concepts in more detail.